is get the TeamViewer software installed on your computer.
TeamViewer?
Yeah, go to open up a web browser. You got internet, right?
Yeah.
Open up a web browser and go to teamviewer.com. It's a free, quick software we got to install.
You say TeamViewer?
Teamviewer.com. Yeah. All one word.
Okay.
Okay, you're on the TeamViewer webpage?
I am.
Okay, there should be a green button, like a green square, that rectangle that says download free for private use.
Yep.
Go ahead and click that.
It says want to run down here, download.
Yeah, run it.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and run it, and let me know once you've walked through that whole process.
Sorry, can't see shit.
It says, I guess basic install is what I want to do?
Yeah.
Actually, it's got to be hooked up with a car.
That way I don't want to do nothing, man. Do I need to click one of these companies, personal or both, I guess?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do I need to click how to, it says how do you want to use a TeamViewer? Do I need to click company, personal, non-commercial use, both of the above, or?
Personal, non-commercial use.
Okay. There we go.
Yes.
Wow, okay. I guess it closed here.
Yeah, close that.
And it says partner ID.
Yep. Okay, hold on 1 second. That's what I need so I can get it.
Ask me if you need to be hooked up with a car.
I guess it's via internet right now.
Alright, what's your partner ID?
It doesn't have one. My ID is 128-905-364.
128-905.
364.
364. Partner. Okay, now underneath that you have a password. What is that?
8327.
8327?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I'm logging in now. Alright, you see me?
Yeah, I guess you took over, huh?
Yep.
All right then.
How do you want to use it? Personal. Oh, this is, no. I guess you must have clicked it twice.
Might have.
Alright, so you got three instances of the software open here.
I think I opened it last night. I was finna open it again and I had it on the car, but I guess we can exit out of it and do what you got to do.
Okay. Right now I'm just testing the connection to see what kind of latency I have, because sometimes they're real bad, but this is pretty good. All right, let's just to make sure, let's go out to the car.
Okay.
And let's hook it up and from the ECU because I want to make sure that we're looking at what's in the car.
Let me turn this charger off. And you got power, my friend.
Alright, we're ready?
Yep. Can you see it?
Alright, cool. Alright, now we can do this one of two ways. We can either do a basic rundown and just kind of start from the beginning and let me run it all down for you, or you can tell me what you want to do and we can go right to what you're trying to accomplish. It's up to you how you want to use your time.
Okay.
Because usually when I'm talking to people with this, usually the car doesn't run yet. So it's, but you're in a different situation where your car's already up and running, and so it's up to you. If you want to run some of the basics down, then we can just go back in the house now, and I can go over everything, and then we can go back to the car, and we can see what's going on, or we can just start right with the car and go right from the beginning.
I mean, I guess we could probably just go over it a little bit real quick, just because I guess just kind of go over it again, because the more times I go over it, the better I can familiarize myself with it. But I mean, I really know how to, I guess, to go in and set the parameters, but I don't really know anything about like the map and how to read that KPA and how all that stuff affects the engine. But I mean,
Okay. All right. Okay, then let's go back inside. I already disconnected from the car.
okay.
You just take it back in
Let's
the
go back
garage.
inside now, and we'll run it down.
You gonna shut the power off in the car?
Sure. I think I'm about ready whenever you are, sir.
Okay. All right. I'd like to start with the system parameters. This is actually the first place where I see that we might want to change something.
Yeah.
Over here in the, you have obviously there are obvious fields that you just plug in values that you have that are predetermined.
Right.
So your number of cylinders, displacement, all that. Okay, so we're using a methanol scale here. So that's not real familiar to me.
Okay.
The actual methanol scale, like what you should be targeting. But like I told you the other day, I did some reading on it, and I was looking at what those targets are typically, and it seems like it's really set up fat. But we'll get to that in a minute. But over here, the wideband O2 sensors. Okay.
Yep.
I never like to have this set up as average.
Okay.
And the reason is because if you have one wideband that's acting bad, it will, first of all, you won't obviously be able to tell that there's a problem because it's using an average of the two.
Yeah, actually, we kind of sort of ran into that because we were dropping cylinders on the right bank and it was running super lean, so the left bank was super fat.
Right, and then it's showing you an average, and it's like you don't know if it doesn't. You can't really tell that there's a problem.
Gotcha.
Right.
So let's do left only. I went ahead and changed that there.
Okay.
Over here you have the startup settings, clear flood. You don't have an electric pump, do you?
No, sir.
You don't, right?
No, I don't.
You have a mechanical?
Yeah, it's a belt-driven pump.
Okay, that's what I figured. So this doesn't even have any this doesn't apply to your car.
Okay.
Because all this does is it allows you to set a throttle position where it turns the fuel pump off.
Okay.
So that if you have a flooded condition, you can just clear that out. So that doesn't really matter to you. With regards to the fuel system and the injectors and the drivers that we were talking about the other day.
Yep.
I'm sorry?
Yep. I'll say yep.
Yeah, there is a way that I can trick this, and I don't know that we want to do that yet until after we do some of the other changes that we want to do to see how it affects the way that the car idles and how it is before we start messing around with the injector drivers and changing them around.
Okay.
So does that sound good?
Sure. I mean, whatever. I'm listening to you. Whatever. I mean, I'm listening. I mean.
Okay. As far as all right, so let's move on then. The ignition parameters. This is you have some kind of custom setup there. It looks like you have no crank sensor, right? You have no
Right.
crank trigger.
Yep. I actually got a 58 trigger with a 1X wheel up front. So that's the reason why the car would start in the beginning. So they told me to turn it off. Or the cam sensor was a 1X.
I'm sorry, the cam. Right. Okay. Excellent. Do you have a cam sensor?
I do.
Okay. We'll get back to that. I'll let me give that some thought. Because what kind of block is it? Is it an LS3 or an LS2 or
It's an LS3 block.
LS3?
Yep.
All right. So you have the cam sensor in the front.
Yep.
Did you guys try reversing with polarity on the pins on the pins on the cam sensor?
I did, because that was one of the deals when I was first trying to get the thing started. They told me to turn it over the other way, and that's what I did, and it still never started.
And then once you took the cam sensor out of the equation, it fired right up?
Yep, because it kept backfiring and popping and banging and everything, man.
Okay. All right. Leave that alone then. All right. Back to the ignition parameters. This is where you set up your. This is where your rev limiter is, but also your rev limiter 1 is your 2-step.
Okay.
Okay. Have you staged the car? Like, tell me about the car itself. Like, is this a brand new build? Is this
It's brand new for the most part, yes, sir.
okay? So this is the first time you had the Holly. You've never been down the track with it, right?
No.
Okay. And you're just getting started.
Yes.
Okay. We'll go ahead and enable the rev limiter, and we'll set that up. Set that up at 4,500. Just to start to see how that.
What's stall conversion at?
It's 45.
All right. So.
The stall's at 4,500.
Yes, sir.
It's supposed to. We don't know yet.
Okay. Maybe that's too high then.
There we go.
So-
4,000. We'll see how it works. Alright, now sensors obviously don't got nothing of that going on. Cranking parameters. This timing here under cranking parameters,
Yep.
that's the timing that's in the motor when you're actually trying to turn it over when you're starting it.
Right.
If you lower that value, I don't know how it turns over now, but if it turns over slow, lowering that value will help it kind of turn over a little faster. So just letting you know how that applies, how that affects
Right.
the tune. Okay, sensors and scaling, that's pretty much all pretty straightforward. Identifying the different sensors and yeah, there's nothing really.
Right.
You got all pretty much cam sensors.
Right.
You don't have any electric fans or?
No, sir.
Tip your screen back.
Okay. Yeah,
We're getting
that's
glad
kind
to
of
go
self-cooling,
listen to
right?
the door.
Do you run water?
I do run water on the. Hold on one second. It's I got the thing to stop. Okay. I actually have a water tank, like an intercooler water tank,
Okay.
and that's what I run my water through.
Okay, but you don't have a radiator or nothing, right?
No, sir.
Okay. So do you ice that down?
No, I just regular run water and then I haven't really, water with a little bit of water wetter. Just circulate it.
Okay. All right. Closed loop learning. Okay, this is where the good stuff happens.
Okay.
All right. This is basically your table that allows the computer to compensate for fuel errors. So it's going to take whatever you're commanding, and this allows you to reduce the percentage that it can correct.
Okay.
I actually like to leave this at 100 because I have a lot of faith in the Holly correction.
Right.
It's actually saved a couple of engines for us already because of weak pumps or maybe 1 out of 2 pumps failing going down the track.
Yes, sir.
So it'll just drive the injectors super, the
Fat.
tractor duty cycle to the moon to try and keep up,
Yep.
So it looks like everything's set up here, but here's where basically this allows you to set up limitations. So if you have issues with like surging, some cars, if they have way too big of a cam, and you can't get them to run at idle with the closed loop correction because the feedback there's not enough air passing over the wideband in order to make the proper corrections at a low throttle position. So sometimes you have to limit when the closed loop works and when it doesn't. We're going to have to see how that affects it, but for starters, like to leave it on everywhere. Now, up here you see there's a learn parameters too. Now, learning, the closed loop works together with the learning, but if you can disable the learning and just have closed loop. Now, I'm going to show you. Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I'm here. I was letting the garage down so we can not have this glare in here.
Gotcha. Okay, so you can have closed loop without learning, but you can't have learning without closed loop.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to show you where the learning tables are and how it works, and it'll make more sense in just a second. Individual cylinder. If you're good with reading plugs, this allows you to really tweak individual cylinders. I think I saw here that you have individual EGTs also.
Yep.
But it's been my experience with EGTs that they're not. How do I explain? It's real critical. Their positioning is real important as they relate to each other, not as it relates to the cylinder. Because if you're tuning off EGTs and you're trying to target even temperatures, the probes have to be in the same exact place in every cylinder so that you can target the right temperatures.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And the only way you're going to be able to tell it for sure if the EGT is telling you the truth or not is by reading the plug.
Yep.
And from what I have understood, reading plugs with methanol is a fucking cut.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of experience with that, but that's what I've heard.
Sure.
But anyway, these two tables here allow you to make individual corrections for fuel and for timing on individual cylinders. A positive value in this timing table is retard. Okay, that's real important. So if you put a positive value in here, that's how many degrees you want pulled out of that hole.
Okay.
As opposed to the fuel correction, which is how much fuel you want to add into the hole.
Okay.
Okay. So if you wanted to take timing, if you want to add timing to an individual hole, then you have to put a negative value here.
Okay.
Under for the timing. All right. That's pretty much that in a nutshell. Inputs and outputs. This allows you to reconfigure some of the predetermined inputs and outputs.
Yeah.
And the only thing that would be in here that we might mess with is the trans brake, which is rev limiter 1. You can see it here because once I activate it, once I click that box to enable it, it brings it from gray like it is counting these other ones.
Right.
Can you see the cursor moving around when I'm moving the cursor around or no?
I sure can.
Okay, good. So here, I don't know if you have your rev limiter, your trans brake wired as a ground input or a positive input. So we're gonna have to double check that. But we'll get to that in a second with that because I noticed here in the I/O you also have inputs. What is that?
I don't think I have any. I think that's the only I got over there.
I could have sworn that it was already set up in here.
Well, it's in there.
Oh, no, it's in the. I'm sorry, it's in the boost control. Okay, no big deal.
Yep.
I'll find it in a second. All right, so you got nothing in the outputs, and all right, we'll get back to that. All right, so let's go to here's the basic sensors.
Yeah.
Now, why is this called the 40 psi
Well, that's what was in the. I took a bass tune out of the global folder when I first got it, and then Matt just put his name on there when he initially started it. That's all.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, because you know that you're limited to like 28 pounds of boost with this sensor.
Right, because I have a 3-bar map. Right.
Okay. All right. Coolant temperature is just a stock sensor.
Right.
Manifold air temperature, stock sensor. 100 psi. And for fuel pressure, you have a custom one.
Yeah, that's the
Looks like-
200 psi inducer that I got from Holly.
Okay.
And I was actually having a problem with the first one I plugged in there. It was showing like 30, 40 psi, and we would adjust the fuel pressure regularly. It wouldn't change. But the moment, I mean, it would change once the motor would change. But once I put a factory gauge on, like a liquid fill, it showed right where, a mechanical gauge, it showed right where we're supposed to be, and it was perfect. But, so I got another one now, so I have to check that.
It's working now?
Well, I got to put
We're not
another
sure.
Right, I got to check the new one now. It was working before. I just want to make sure it didn't start going haywire on me again.
Gotcha. All right. I've had one of those pressure transducers act weird on me. Actually, I just installed one day before yesterday in my car.
Yep.
For converter line pressure.
Yep.
And it was weird when I turned the car on. I had it all configured right. I keyed it on. It was reading like 60 psi with the key on, but the car off. It should have read 0.
Right.
It read like 60. And then when I turned the car on, it went to like 130 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then as it sat there, it just started to like just gradually come down little by little, little by little.
Yeah.
I turned the key off, I turned the key back on, and boom, it started reading right and everything since then. So I don't know if there's something inside those sensors that maybe the plunger or something has to. I don't know how it works inside there, but anyway. All right, so that's the sensors. That's pretty basic stuff. All right, let's get into the fuel. There we go. All right, so you got your large fuel map. On the left-hand side here, you have your KPA.
Yeah.
On the bottom, you have RPM. Both of those are scalable however you want. Okay. It does scale it. It does scale it automatically when you first put them in, but then afterwards you can scale it however you want, so that you can pick up some resolution. For instance, you have values down here under 700. Like you have this row down here. I can't really read it because it's too small.
400, 496.
Yeah, like you don't need to have that whole column. You know, you can get rid of that and add a line of resolution somewhere else in there. The only thing is that you have to keep in mind that anytime you mess around with these columns, you have to understand that when you change that X or Y axis value, the values inside the graph do not change.
Okay.
So it basically screws everything up, and you have to actually cut and paste the whole columns and all the columns and the rows and shift them along with what you're doing.
Yep.
So usually in order to do something like that, what I do is I'll create a copy of the tune and rename it, and I'll have two windows open at the same time where I can copy and paste from the one table to the other, so that I have the values where they belong. You know, I don't know if I'm getting that across right, but the main thing is that if you shift one of those columns, it'll screw up the whole fueling table.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as tools, okay, within this graph, you can highlight a group like a cluster, the way I've done there, and you can click on graph, and it'll show you just that area.
Sweet.
Okay. Now what this allows you to do is, as you start learning and you start transferring data over from learning, sometimes because of camera version and other things that go on with a car, with the physics of how the wideband reads the data, you can end up with like spikes and valleys, and it starts creating issues with the tune.
Right.
And because they're artificial, so it'll start causing surging and other problems to happen. So when you look at your data and you write it up, then you can come back into the area where you've written it over, and you can highlight that area. You'll probably mostly be in this part of the map, and look at the graph, and it should always be. It doesn't have to be this smooth, but it has to be linear.
Yeah.
In other words, typically 99% of the time when you're at wide open throttle, your values to the left will be will be lower than your values on the right. Just like your values below will be higher than, will be below the values above.
Okay.
On the scale. So if you see, if you all of a sudden you see one value that just drops off, and you have like for instance,
Yep.
you see something like that, you know that there's a problem there. And same way, if you see something like this, you know that that's a spot that you got to push it down. You
Right.
know.
Absolutely.
Now how I'm doing that is I'm holding the control key down.
Yep.
And using the up and down arrow.
Yep.
After I highlight it.
Yep.
And you can use the up and down arrow to move your point around, so you get to the cell that you want to get on.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know if you messed with the animation at all, but if you right click, and you can turn on the rotation animation so that you can see it from a different angle.
Sweet.
And then you just stop it from the angle that you want to see, because sometimes your dips and valleys, you can't see them from the angle that you're looking at.
Okay.
So you can always do that. Let me rotate it back to the right. Position. As well as all kinds of other shit. You can go in there and you can change how the lines look and everything else.
Right.
Learn table. Okay. You see how you have data in here?
Yep.
Okay. That's learning that it's doing. Okay.
Yep.
Because it's a dedicated race car, a lot of this area in the map you'll probably never be in, because you're not driving it around on the street.
Right.
So pretty much just about everything in this part of the map you'll probably never hit.
Okay.
Or if you do hit it, it'll just be like on deceleration or something,
Okay.
So you're gonna spend most of your time in this area, and then your two-step area is gonna be right up in here,
Okay.
and then your wide open throttle area is gonna probably be in this area here.
Okay.
And then all the rest of the map's probably never gonna get touched. Now, because these values are so low, I'm gonna go ahead and do a transfer learning to base.
Yep. I've done it a couple
to show
times.
you. Now, every time you transfer learning to base, it's going to ask you if you want to smooth. Always tell it no.
Okay.
Okay? The reason is, when it smooths, it grabs values from all over the place. Like, it's not just interpolating data.
Okay.
And so it's not just, it's not just looking at the number right next to it. And it's trying to smooth everything over the whole table.
Okay.
So you don't want to do that, because it can screw shit up.
Okay.
You don't really have to even transfer the learning from the base table, as long as you're diligent in how you modify your tune file. Because you got to remember, and this is one thing that's really hard for guys to grasp, this learning table is in your computer right now. It's in the ECU in the car.
Yep.
Okay? If I had worked on one of the tunes that you sent to me, those tunes may or may not have this data, because you may have started the car since then.
Yep.
Okay? So if I make changes to one of those tunes, and then I look up and I do a transfer learning to base, I do a set to ECU when I do the USB link, then I overwrite this table.
Yes.
So it's real important that you always do a get from, make your changes, send to.
Okay.
Instead of doing your changes to the file that you put in the car last time that hasn't, but you've driven the car since then, you've been on track or whatever.
Okay.
All right. So, target air fuel ratio. Okay. This is the table that I was saying looks extremely fat to me. Stoichiometric, which is lambda 1-to-1 ratio, which on a regular street cars like 14.7 to 1.
Yep.
Is, I believe it's 6.4 for methanol on a methanol scale.
When we fucked with it the other day, I put 6.5 in there.
Now, I don't know if you've done any research or not, but let me show you something real quick. And again, the reason why I'm going into this, more into this, is because do you not use Explorer as your primary search engine?
This is my laptop just for the car, so I never really set it up, whatever the case may be. So I really don't go online with it.
Okay.
I just bought it for the car.
Okay, let me think of where I found this. No, Max Power Rich. Was it this one? That one doesn't have nothing on it. Just real quick. Damn, what was that?
Want some water or beer or something?
Same one. It looked like this one, but that one doesn't have nothing on it. This one.
Same one. There's related images.
Oh yeah. Gonna be. They're too small for me though. I can't see.
All right.
We can't see them either.
So you can click them.
Here, let me look at my local machine here real quick, and
All right, Tina.
I can find it faster.
Sure. So that was some good points to know about get from and then send to, but also too, I guess, on the individual cylinders about when you add the.
Well, the one is a positive on the retard individual cylinders. If you retard, if you put a positive number, that's how many degrees of time you're pulling out.
Right.
If it's a negative number, that's how many degrees you're adding.
Right, and that's
so you
what.
can add or subtract, but you have to make sure it's backwards. You know,
Right.
what you're normally used to. And then on the fuel side, on the fuel, the fuel correction on each side. If you add, it's adding. It's subtract. It's backward.
Right, but see what I was doing before when I would transfer and it actually smooth, I would say yes, but he told me not to do that.
Right.
But see, I didn't know.
But I like his explanation.
Absolutely.
It makes sense now.
Yes, sir.
But like I said, remember the first thing when I looked at the tune, I thought it looked kind of fat, and we
Right.
changed the idle tune, the idle mixture up to about 6.5 and started running really good. And then we had it at 6.5, I think,
Yeah.
right around there. So, but the thing is, under for max power, I want to see what he comes up with under boost. What it needs to be.
All right, that's the main thing I'm really want to learn about. I guess get about the KPA, the MAP, the map, and how that transfers to boost, but also to get more into that.
Anything above 100 kPa, you're starting to get into boost.
Okay.
100 kPa should be about atmospheric, or pretty damn close.
I'm close. Hold on 1 second.
No worries, man. All right, go and put this charger on like 5 or something. It's charged.
Yeah, because 5.0 on the methanol is equivalent to 11.5 to 1 air fuel ratio.
Wow.
So that should be about where it's at under boost then.
Correct. shows you max power. Max power rich. And it showed you like what it wants to be at its richest. In other words, anything fatter than that is actually no good. You know?
Sure.
It's kind of like the floor that they provide you with. But it's not equivalent, I do not believe, to the E85 and gasoline are very similar in terms of on a gas scale where they make the most power.
Right. Normally aspirated is usually around 12.5 to 13 to 1. And once you start getting a boost, depending on how much boost you're running, up to 10, 14 pounds of boost, it's around to 11.5, and then more than that, it starts dropping down around 10.5, 11.
Well, you never want to go below 11.0 ever on your gasoline.
Okay.
Anything fatter than that actually create a problem with it. It'll start lifting rings and ring length on the pistons because the fuel starts getting up underneath the piston.
Yeah, I've never run anything with that much boost, so I've never had to tune one that far.
Geez, I had this yesterday. Oh man, I should have saved that.
No worries, dude. Take your time. It's all good, man.
Yeah, it's like 4.3 is like the richest. Like it's way on the. I found this lean rich scale on Innovate for methanol, and it basically shows 4.3 is at the
So
bottom as
that's
low as
gasoline.
essentially breed.
Okay.
So is it pretty safe to say that a lot of this, in terms of the AFR, compared to gasoline, is pretty much half? So we're doubling the amount of fuel?
No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
It's not. It's in no way linear like that.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
What was that one called? Where'd it go? Should have had that one open. There's one just like that one from methanol and diesel and. You know what? Who posted this?
I found it right away yesterday too. I like it.
I know this is going to sound stupid, but I think in the manual for Fast's wideband O2 meter, I remember seeing the graph for like diesel and methanol and E85 and gasoline and everything in the manual.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I read it too. On the Innovate, concept of Innovate, there's something that they put out. But now, it's a habit. Let's see. So you just gotta look at the stuff and you quickly run into, instead of dead ending into all this left, check the left into just the regular fuel system, instead of for Dan. And it probably is the search. Methanol, AFR.
I'm looking for the manifold, methanol AFR. Methanol meter. I want the manual for it is what I'm looking for.
Right.
It can be too rich. There it is. I think I found it. Oh no.
It's gonna pop up, I'm sure. It's always like this, right? Then you feel like, damn, what happened to it? It's there. Sometimes you get in a hurry and then you start overlooking stuff quick.
Yeah.
So just Google manual.
No, it's probably in tech support.
There's tech resources.
Got it. Okay, I found it.
Where'd you find it at?
It's an article under hotrod.com. Let me,
Okay.
is where I found it. But they have the table. And so I just gotta see what I searched for. Methanol, AFR, max power rich. Alright, let's go here. Wait, no, let me do that. Methanol. AFR. Max power rich. Right here.
Perfect.
You know, actually, I think I saw the same graph here.
I'm sorry.
I think I've read the same article. I think I've seen the same graph you're about to bring up.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like that other graph that I pictured earlier, except that there's just more data on it. There it is. Methanol stoichiometric is 6.4. Methanol max power rich is 4.0.
Hey, do me a favor while you're doing this. Can you right-click that and save that as an image on his desktop?
Yeah. Here, you want me to speak?
Well, no, just save the image because if we're at the track, we're not gonna have internet.
Right.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, if you could just right-click and save the image. Just go, yeah.
It's not an image. That's what I tried to do yesterday. Now that I found it,
Oh, okay.
it's not an image file.
That sucks.
It's like text.
I take a picture with my phone. That's what I would do. I always take pictures of it.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Actually, yeah,
Probably easier.
as I wanted to.
That's what I found. I just remembered that I think that to be that yesterday.
You know that, boy. Each phone with pictures come,
I'll
right?
send it to you.
Okay.
Hey,
Yep.
okay. So, the cars that the cars are Iris, which is basically going to be solar in here. We got all set to follow that, so probably a few. That's pretty fast, but at the same time, the wide bands, like I said, at idle, they don't read as well, and it depends on how they're placed, and like how far are the wide bands from the turbos?
They're pretty far away. I mean, they're on the other side.
Well, they're on the exhaust.
They're on the exhaust
after-
housing.
But how far from what he's saying is how far from the turbo, from the V band where it goes on the exhaust housing? How far down does it go?
I want to say maybe foot and a half.
Okay. And it's fender the exhaust, right?
I beg your pardon?
The exhaust that comes out the fender, right?
Yes.
But it comes out the back of the fender, right? Behind the tire?
Yes.
So you got a few feet of exhaust pipe past,
Yes.
beyond the sensor.
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, you're going to have to, we're going to experiment with this and see how it feels about idling a little leaner. You definitely don't want to go richer because that's pretty fat.
Foot and a half.
But it might like to idle a little leaner. Once we turn on all the idle controls,
Yeah.
we might find that that'll work better. As far as this shit up here with the threes,
Yep.
we're gonna put that all to 4.
Okay.
4 is.
So when you did that, you just went and clicked it and just clicked one and it just changed all of them that were highlighted?
Yeah. Once you highlight on everything, you can just type it in and hit enter, and
Sweet.
it'll put it in all the cells.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Let's say that I wanted to have this value be 1, or I guess it's 2,
Yeah.
and I want to offset. I want to interpolate between those two values. So I want it to automatically fill in between those two. I would have to do fill row value.
Okay.
Now you see what it did?
Yeah, it
It
actually.
basically evenly spaced them in between.
Yep.
Now, if I do fill column values, watch what it's going to do.
It does a whole table.
Wow. Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that.
Right. I'm glad you
And you can
recorded
always
this.
undo. And I'm going to hit undo one more time to undo what I did. And one more time.
to
undo
there you
it.
go.
There we go.
Sweet.
So that's you get into a lot of that smoothing. That you need to do that interpolation a lot for the smoothing for the
Turbo.
boost ramps
Yep.
and for your fuel tables. So anyway, so this is your target air fuel. This is what you're targeting at any given time, and this is what it's targeting in the alert table.
Okay.
The fuel graph the fuel graph where we showed you that in the base fuel table. Now
Right.
that's the whole fuel graph is when you hit fuel graph here.
Right.
But in the base fuel table here, like I said, you can highlight and then you can
Quick graph. Sweet.
you can click there and you can grab. Okay, acceleration enrichment. You're probably never going to have to mess with these tables because this is all for drivability.
Right.
This is like pulling out from a stop sign or like real part throttle acceleration stuff.
Yep.
That's not going to be that critical to you.
Okay.
But if you find like for I don't know, do you drive it up in the staging lanes or do you pull it?
I drive it. I will drive it.
If you have issues where it doesn't want to drive, where you got flat spots in the gas pedal and stuff under like a real light tip in,
Yep.
this is where you're going to do it. Usually you have to add fuel. Usually this is a little on the lean on the low side. So
Okay.
so the flat spot that you feel is 9 times out of 10 a lean spot.
Okay.
All right. Fuel modifiers.
Yeah, I probably don't get into that, I guess. Oh, well.
Yeah. I like to. Let's leave this. Make sure that these are all at 100. Because I like to take these out of the equation for. Why are their values so? Values here are not at 100. I think everything else is at 100. Okay. These are coolant temperature enrichment tables for cold start
Okay.
type situations. Again, with a street car, these aren't problems that you're probably going to run into. You always you don't want to mess with both of these tables. You want to pick one or the other
Sure.
because it's basically just two different ways of doing the same thing.
Okay.
Which is enriching the fuel. Air temperature enrichment, here you can add fuel or subtract fuel based on manifold air temperature. So you won't know what you need to do until you go down the track and you can log your manifold air temperatures and see what they're doing.
Right.
And actually with a methanol card, probably it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
Because you're logging, you don't have any intercooler or anything, right?
No, sir.
Yeah, it just goes right in and the methanol pulls the charge.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's probably not going to be an issue. And this table, again, this is a drivability table for acceleration enrichment.
Sure.
Nothing that you have to really mess with on your car. Startup, cranking fuel. This is where you're going to add fuel when you're trying to start the car at different temperature.
Sure.
If the car doesn't want to start, I don't know how hard it is to start with the electric. Do you have any kind of electric pump to prime the system, or do you just go right off the belt?
I go right off the belt. When it's cold, that's how I'm going to take some starting, boy. But I mean, I can take a drill and boom, hit it, fire right up. But I don't have a electric pump on it.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you have? Where's the pump located? Is it up in the front?
It's in the back.
So you have a cable drive going to it?
Yep.
Is the pump lower than the tank?
Yep.
Do you have a check valve all the way up in the front?
I don't have a check valve.
You don't have a check valve anywhere?
No, sir. Or do I need a check valve?
I've heard that if you have a check valve up at the front by the rail, right before the rail, it keeps fuel.
Pressure.
It holds the fuel in the line
Okay.
all the way up there, so that you don't have to crank it as much to get it going. We're just switching over. One of the cars that I tune here locally, that's a good buddy of mine. We're just getting ready to switch. We're switching that over to a belt drive setup, and that was one of the concerns is startup.
Then that would make sense there, because he kept asking, why is he hold pressure? I mean, I'm sure it's going to bleed off, but the check valve will be perfect. So I guess I need to get one of those.
Yeah, that way you don't have to fill a line every time. Those cranks that you're doing to fill the line instead will be filling the fuel rails.
Yep.
But and there's, they make some big badass check valves that are for, they flow, so it's not like you're restricted to flow or anything.
Yep.
So that's that. These are again drivability stuff. Let's talk about timing. With regards to what methanol cars like for timing, I don't know, but I know that it's usually a pretty good amount.
Right.
I do a lot with the E85, and I try to, when we get up in the high 30 pounds of boost area, I get it down to about 18, 19 degrees of timing with 9 to 1 compression. But again, this you're going to need some feedback from some people. I know methanol is very, very resistant to detonation, so that's not really a major concern.
Right.
But until you get it on the track or on a dyno, you won't know how high you can take it without, until basically my understanding with methanol is you take the timing up until it doesn't make any more power.
Right.
So that'll be process of trial and error, process of elimination. Now, one thing though that I do suggest for that is that you see how this timing is all over the place.
Yeah.
Like all the values are all different. It's scaled in some way, shape, or form. When you're testing, I would suggest having flat blocks. So that if you hit a little bit extra boost or a little bit less boost, you don't fall out of the block that you're working in, or you're not looking at a fluctuating timing when you're looking at a data log.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll show you how we're going to get to reading the data logs here in a second. That's where the good stuff is.
Yep.
But basically, like I said, try and go for, if you know you're going to run 15 degrees of timing, I'm sorry, if you know you're going to run 15 pounds of boost, and you're going to try it on 15 pounds of boost,
Yep.
or you're going to try it on a low boost setting, just take everything over 100 kPa that is over wherever your two-step is set at. So if your two-step launch is set at 4,000, then take everything from 100 kPa and 4,000 RPM all the way to the corner here, all the way to this top corner,
Okay.
and set it at 20 degrees of timing, or 15 degrees, whatever you're going to do. So that way, when you review your log, it's going to be flat. It's going to be a flat timing line all the way across, and you don't have to worry about, I don't know if. So the next time, you just take that whole block and you just move it up, and you move it up, and you move it up.
Okay.
And then once you get to where you see that your car's not going any faster down the track, then that's where your timing that's where your timing target is, and then you can start working on the ramp of the timing. So what you're going to find is that when you're on the two-step, you're going to build X amount of boost, and as soon as you let go of the trans-brake button, it's going to flash right to another level of boost, and the stuff that's in between, it doesn't really matter much.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're only there for the flash.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. Just like you want to take a methodical approach to figuring out what you're specifically trying to figure out, and that's one of the things you can do as your own tuner. Because to do stuff like that when you're paying somebody else is prohibitive. You can't do it. It just because it takes so many different. It takes a while to figure out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it would take you 7 sessions with your tuner there to figure out something like this that you're paying them for every time. So anyway, so again, with this table also, you can scale the timing, you can scale the RPM RPMs, and you can scale the map any way you want to get more resolution in certain areas. With a timing map, it's not really that important. And timing maps are not linear. That's why you can see here, share rotation animation. Well, this one's linear, but they're not supposed to be. Let me take another look at this map here.
I guess my question would be is how does the map, the KPA, relates to boost pressure? As far as those numbers?
Pretty easy, and you can actually change that. If you feel more comfortable, like, if you're not a tuner, tuners are used to working with KPA.
Okay.
Okay? If you're not a tuner and you feel more comfortable with looking at what boost level you're at, you can change this stuff all here. You can go to Toolbox, Preferences, and Display Pressure in ASPSI, whatever, land, and then save. Let's put my name. We'll put the date on the end here just to keep it separate.
15. 15 on the 15.
Okay. Now, I'm going to close it. I was supposed to click yes on that. Sorry.
Oh, no worry.
Close. Yes. Yes. Okay, and now when I open it back up, it's here. It should display everything in Boost. You see?
Yeah.
Okay. Now 0 is 100 kPa.
Okay.
Now,
Atmospheric.
this is not vacuum. Okay, that's the only problem with the scale. This is negative boost, which I'm not really sure what it means, but it does not line up with what a vacuum gauge reads.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because the vacuum gauge starts reading inches of mercury. It doesn't read in PSI.
Exactly. Correct. So this is reading negative down to negative 14.7, which is 1 bar going down to 0. You know, 0 kPa. So if you prefer this view,
Yeah.
you can look at it like this, and that way at a glance you can see
Yeah,
what it
perfect.
is. All right, let's see here. So we covered fuel. Let's talk about idle.
Yep.
All right, we're going to turn on idle spark control. We're going to turn that on.
Okay.
Basically, that's going to use timing to add and subtract.
Gotcha.
You know, to keep control of the RPMs at idle.
So it's not reliant totally on the IAC. Will you use both or just one?
Well, we're going to see what happens because right now this thing's set up on drive-by-wire, which he said it's not a drive-by-wire car.
No, it's cable.
Yeah, it's cable-driven. So I'm assuming it's just a regular GM LSX idle air control on a regular throttle body, right?
Yep.
Standard stepper motor, and we'll see what that does.
Okay. What is the PMW?
It's a different kind of IAC.
Pulse width modulation. Ford uses that kind of idle air controller.
Okay.
Okay, then we got a target idle here. Is I'm going to change this to just a flat 1,000, so
Okay.
there's no step, and we can work down from that. I don't know why I didn't grab that one. And idle air control. All right, now that might be it might have too much idle air for startup. We'll see. Do you normally help it with the gas pedal to start it?
When it's cold, I do, but once it runs, it runs. But then again, when I go out and it's warm, you hit it, it fires right up.
You just turn the key and boom, it fires right up
Yep.
with no help.
No help. Yep.
Okay. We'll see what this does. All right. this stuff. This is all for drivability.
Yep.
So we're not going to spend any time on that.
Right.
Let's,
That's what I'm talking about right
boost
here.
control.
Yep.
Okay. Boost control. So you got a bunch of different strategies that you can use. For the track, I prefer boost versus time,
Okay.
which is the way it's set up right now. Dual port dome control, that's good. If you wanted to switch it from boost versus time to one of these other methods, boost by speed, boost by RPM, boost manual, you do that here
Right.
in this drop-down menu. You can you have the option to put an input to enable and disable the boost controller. I do not do that, so that's fine.
Okay.
Speed input selection. I don't know if you have a wheel speed sensor of some sort.
I do not.
Okay, so you don't need that. TPS modulation. This is a very, very cool feature. Okay, and right now it's not really set up right. Basically, what this does is it allows. Have you had a turbo car before?
I don't know if you call it Grand National turbo car. It is a turbo car, but it was all factory. I never worked on one before though.
Okay. Well, but for generally speaking, when you know that when you go wide open throttle in a boosted car, if you come off the throttle just a little bit, 5-10%, it doesn't do anything because there's still pressure.
Yep.
And the pressure overcomes that. When it closes a little bit, it just goes right around it, right?
Yep.
So it doesn't do anything. So that's what this TPS modulation is for. Basically, it allows you to set, and I'm going to set it at 50 just to give you to explain to you how it works. What this does is this does two things. Number one, it's a threshold. Okay, so the boost controller is disengaged below 50%.
Okay.
Okay. So if your foot doesn't touch the pedal, the boost controller is not doing anything.
Okay.
No matter what. Okay. They won't start. Okay. Now, as soon as you cross the 50% threshold, it's going to start its ramp. All right. Now, picture in your head, take that space between 50% and 100%, which is actually between 50 and 95%, but rather than not make it complicated, just look at that gap between 50 and 100%, okay? So now you have half of your throttle. You're on the bottom half of your throttle, right?
Yep.
When pushing in the gas pedal. Okay. That bottom half of your throttle allows you to regulate the amount of boost that it's going into the motor versus what you're commanding in your boost versus time. So what that means is that let's just say that you have your boost versus time set flat at 20 psi. Okay, so it's going to put 20 psi on the gate of CO2 pressure.
Okay.
All the way across from the time you floor it to the time you let off. There's no ramp. It's just flat 50%. I mean, it's flat 20 psi. Okay. If you throttle the gas at 100%, you will get all 20 psi on the gate. If you come off the gas pedal to 75%, which is halfway between 50 and 100, you're only going to get half of that 20 psi. So it's only going to give you 10 psi. What that allows you to do is if when you launch the car, if you're spinning and you need to pedal the car, it lets you pedal the car by modulating the amount of boost with the gas pedal instead of having to come all the way off the throttle to get out of boost.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah, I do. If not, I can explain to him later. I understand
like traction
exactly what you're talking about.
Okay. All right, great.
No, well, like the example you gave a minute ago when he's talking about the Grand National, where if you let off the throttle, it really doesn't do nothing.
Right.
Well, with this, if you let off the throttle and back the throttle position back off, let's say to 75%, it's going to take 10 pounds of boost away.
Okay.
And as soon as you get back on it, it's going to put the 10 pounds back.
Okay.
Because it's actually using dome control on the gate, on the wastegate, rather than just the airflow that it's getting in.
Okay.
It's actually commanding less boost.
Gotcha.
So it works really well. So there's that. Trans brake, launch enable input here. All right, basically, this is a flat
5%.
amount of
5%.
CO2 that it's going to put on the back of the gate whenever you're on the trans brake.
So I
As
guess.
soon as you push the button, you get 5 psi on the gate.
Okay. So
If
basically.
you want more,
So basically, what I say, every time you command that, it's putting pressure on the gates, and on the gates, it should make that amount of boost.
No.
Okay.
Okay, real important. These are not boost numbers.
Okay.
This is pressure on the gate. This is don't.
Okay. That's what the PSIG
Okay.
stands for. Okay.
Yeah. So if you have a CO2 bottle
Yep.
that you're using, is that what you're using for dump control?
Yep.
Okay, so that's regulated down to 60, 80 psi probably, and then you have a line that goes into your solenoids.
Yep.
And then those solenoids tee in between those two solenoids that tees into the top or on your dome on your wastegate.
Yep.
And based on how much pressure it applies there will determine how hard it holds that valve closed and how much boost it'll let you make. Now, that's a trial and error thing. You have to go out there and set it at 5 psi and see how much boost 5 psi gives you. And
If you need more,
you can
increase
start
it.
understanding the correlation between the dome pressure and the actual boost pressure.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Please don't be afraid to stop me for clarification if there's something that you're not getting.
Right. All these are just. I just found the PSI means pressure on the gate. Is what that means.
Yep. Yep. Now, down here in the safeties, this is actual boost pressure. So boost pressure above 25 psi, you have it set to cut the ignition. Okay?
All right.
So actually shut the car down. All right, boost pressure above. These are boost pressures. Now, you see how it says dome pressure above?
Yeah.
That's dome pressure. Now, that dome pressure that it's talking about there, that's what we're dealing with in all these other values up here.
Sure.
These are all dome pressure values. Okay? And same with the boost versus time when you go into this ramp.
Uh huh.
This is dome pressure that you're commanding. You see at the top it says dome pressure.
Okay.
So back to the boot setup. Okay, boot scramble increase and decrease. Basically, this allows you to wire up a switch that will add whatever number of psi on the gate you want on top of whatever is commanded on the boost versus time.
Okay.
Like with our 750 street car, we put 10 psi here, and so I have the ramp set up depending on the quality of the track.
Right.
I might have the ramp set up a little soft, and he knows that if he makes it that first 30 feet or so without spinning,
It's on.
it's on, and then he could flick it on and pour it on the rest of the way. You know, so it gives you an opportunity to make a change right there at the last minute for a fixed amount.
Okay.
Same thing for the decrease. If you're racing in a class and you see the guy above in front of you, it's the two guys that went ahead of you, they both spun, and you know the track's not there, then you can hit this boost decrease and it'll allow you to take away whatever the predetermined amount is
Sweet.
that you can take away so that you can
Yeah.
leave with less power.
Sweet.
So it gives you a lot of opportunities. And now anytime you check one of these boxes, what's going to happen is when you come over here to this pin map, you're going to see it pop up over here on the inputs or the outputs, depending on whether it's wired in as an input or an output. Well, depending on whether or not that type of that checkbox denotes an input or an output.
Okay.
Okay, so like this rev limiter one, you see it here.
Yep.
And right now it's set to hot. You see it's set for 12 volt power because that's what the H means.
Okay.
But your trans brake launch is set up on ground.
Okay.
Okay, so that tells me that your trans brake is wired as a ground, not as a positive.
Okay.
So I have to leave here. I got to go into the. I actually have to go into this. Not such your system I/O. This one, and I got to come over here. You see, rev limiter one is highlighted.
Yep.
I need to make it a ground because I know by looking at your pin map that that's how you have your trans brake wired.
Okay.
Now I can go back to pin map.
Now it
And
says
this
go.
rev limiter, now I can go here and I can drop it right on top of that other rev limiter.
Really?
So now, so now your rev limiter is done. It's ready to go.
2 steps
right
done.
now without having to wire anything.
Sweet.
Because you've already done the wiring and you just have to associate it with different things.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sweet. Yeah.
Okay, so back to the boost. So you got all these safeties set up right now, which is fine, and it looks like they're pretty much way up there. So leave them. They shouldn't interfere with anything that we're going to try and do. All right, so the dome control setup. Okay. Now, in order to do this dome control, we got to set up the PID.
Okay.
Okay. For this controller setup.
See, I actually changed those and put like 30 and 50 because there was some stuff that was in the deal. And as soon as you turn the car on, the relays go, brrr, they would click. And then when I turn them off, they wouldn't click.
Right. Here, well, it's we're going to see how this circuit is set up right now.
Yeah, that's basically what I had
Actually,
on
you
there.
know what? I'm going to show you how to do it from scratch. This is pretty cool the way it works. You got a full bottle, CO2 bottle?
I sure do.
Okay. Let's talk about this real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and hook up to the car, and we'll see if that's all wired right.
Okay.
All right. So your solenoid source pressure is fixed because you have it regulated. Your fixed pressure value is at 20, but that's not where you have it regulated, I'm sure. So you need to tell me where your CO2 is regulated at.
I don't know.
You know what that is?
I know. Just I don't know what you mean by being regulated at. I mean,
You know, what's a pressure regulator? What's a regulator set at?
I didn't set it. I just put it in the car. I haven't done anything to it yet.
Is there a gauge on it?
But there's
There's
a regulator, right?
Yes.
With two gauges?
Yes. Yep.
Two gauges?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So we gotta set that up.
We can figure that out here. Let's go ahead and go out there.
Okay. Let me open this garage and get to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah. And what we're doing now, we're doing the
Hold on a second. The door's opening. All right, what was that?
Oh, I'm sorry. What we're doing now, we're going to do all this with the car off, so you don't have to start the car for any of this.
Okay, he's inside taking a piss. He'll be right back. I'm fucking take everything outside.
Okay.
You use the bathroom like that, Mike?
No, I'm good.
Is the towel blew off or something?
He said we might start the car and nothing.
Oh, okay.
So right now we're just hooking up the car so you can read the parameters from the computer and make sure that we need to check that CO2 to see what it's set at.
It's all set up. I guess I need to turn the power on.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be hooked to the computer so he can read it.
Oh, it's already
You might want to put a battery charger on the car.
I did. It's just fully charged now.
Okay. It's just because what we're doing now. Oh, does the car have an alternator?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay. Is it a 16 volt setup?
16 volt, yes, sir.
Okay, cool. You let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Are you?
Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right, so we got let's connect the laptop here. Set the ECU. Okay. All right, let's see here. The best way to do this. This laptop that we're working on, is it a real laptop or is it a tablet or anything?
It's a real laptop.
How big's the screen? Is it a tiny little screen? Or
It's like
is it...
17 and a half, I think.
Oh, perfect. All right, good. So you'll be able to see what I'm doing.
Yep.
All right. Actually, a couple things we got to set up real quick. Okay. We didn't talk about this in support. Have you played with this yet?
I haven't.
With the okay. Down here in the bottom, this bottom left-hand window, you have sensors. Okay.
Yep. I've seen
This
that.
window can be this window can be toggled.
Right.
To read a bunch of different things.
Right.
Okay, and everything that you see in these windows is configurable to how you want to have it set up.
Yep.
Okay.
I want
You hit the E here.
that. Yep.
Each one of those windows is one of these boxes over here.
Right.
Okay, they correlate directly. All right, so I'm going to set up this boost box to read all the stuff that I need to read, that I need to see, in order to make sure that this boost controller is working right.
Okay.
Okay. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm dragging stuff out of this box that I don't need, so that I make space for the stuff that I do need.
Right. Yeah, I learned that the other day when I hooked up that EGT kit. I was like, man, how the heck you... He asked me that I configured, I'm like, no. And then I saw the deal to the side and started dragging, and it was pretty sweet, man.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so when it says target boost here,
Yeah.
that's target dome pressure. Okay. What's it? Boost time and then boost. Now, where it says boost here, that's actual boost.
Right.
Okay. So what we got to do is we got to find the dome pressure sensor, which looks like it's this one.
I guess my question to be real quick is, like, I've got the
Yep.
EGT stuff over there. I put them in, I guess, when I was trying to log, so it wouldn't go into this screen here. It would just go into log. So I need to take those out and put them in one of these deals here so I can toggle through that.
Yeah, the logger is separate from this.
Okay, all right then. That's
So
what.
even though the logger has the same function, this is for your viewing pleasure. This
Okay.
is live viewing, where the logger's all the stuff after the fact.
Sweet. Okay.
And then what we're going to do now is we're going to work on a strip chart, which is another kind of logger that you may not have worked with yet. And that one lets us do real-time logging, so that we can see how values are oscillating back and forth, which is important when you're trying to set up idle or the boost control. All right, so I got dome pressure, I got target. So the dome pressure should be riding the target boost line. I got boost by time. Boost. I need duty cycle.
Yeah, I was looking for the solenoids.
Yeah.
I just saw them. You just went past them. Up top. Up to the right. There you go. Down one. Down a couple. Perfect.
Oh, there you go. Okay. It's really tiny on my screen.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, that's why I can't see so good. All right. So I have boost.
So I was wondering why it wasn't working for us. Now I need to make my own screens.
That should do it, I think. Okay, let's see it here. Okay, and oh, why is the dome pressure reading in KPI?
Forgot this thing's touchscreen too.
Oh crap.
What's that?
You got a map sensor in that you're using for dome pressure.
Huh?
Such right there.
Oh.
Is that correct or is that not correct?
No, it's not correct. I don't know how that got in
So you
there.
have a fucking transducer?
I
Like
do.
Ollie?
Yep.
Like a 100?
All right.
I'm sorry?
Oh, he doesn't know. Hold on.
It is a 100.
It's 100.
It is 100?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
What's up, dude? It's a good thing you found that. At least it was a reading KPA. I would have.
Yeah. That'll break your brain.
All right. Without doubt, man.
There we go.
Perfect.
Okay, is the key on now?
It is on. Yep.
Look at your CO2 canister there,
Uh huh.
and what do you see on the gauges? Is the valve open?
No, it's not open. Should
No.
I open it?
You want it open?
Crack it open real fast. Like, just crack it open and close it real fast.
It's about 150.
And what's on the other one?
The other one's maybe about 800.
One's 800, one's 150.
Okay. Did you hear any leaks when you cracked it open?
No.
Just heard it go in.
Okay, crack it open again and see if you can hear any leaks anywhere.
No,
Leave it
sir.
open this time.
No, sir.
No, no leaks.
Well, actually, there was 150 psi in there already, right?
Yep.
Okay. Why does the dome have 10 psi in it? That dome pressure sensor that you're using, is it from Holly or is it like from somewhere else?
It's
No,
Holly.
it's Holly.
Oh.
Does he got another transducer bed?
The key's on, right?
Yep.
The key's in on position. Okay, push the trans brake button
Pushed.
and floor the throttle.
Hold on. We're doing this from the passenger window. Hold on a minute.
Oh, okay.
All right, pressed and full throttle.
Did you hear anything click or do anything?
So,
Well, we heard the trans brake solenoid. That was it.
Oh, wait. This is,
so I get off on
hang
it?
on.
There, we got clicking.
Okay, but the dome pressure's still not reading right. All right, let off the gas.
Yeah, be let off.
Okay. That dome pressure sensor's not reading right.
Yeah, we seem to have issues with those transducers.
Who wired it? Did you guys wire it?
He did. What?
Um,
Yeah, he wired it.
It's like everything's supposed to be.
okay. Did he use the 5 volt and the ground both from the Holly?
Did you use a 5-volt ground both from the Holly?
Yeah, whatever was in the manual is where I.
Whatever was in the manual, he wired it up like the manual said.
Okay, so he's using the 5 volt reference in the ground from the Holly. I don't know what the manual says. I just want to make sure because a lot of guys they'll take the ground and they'll stick it to like the chassis or something.
No, I just stick it to my
And
phone.
it's gotta
You,
be
you got
5
you got
volt.
the the power and the ground from the Holly, right?
Yeah, I got the brochure. I can show you.
Just as long as they're both wired to the box, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both wired to the box.
Okay.
This is for the transducer, right? Yeah, sensor ground, A, B, and C is where I did it.
Yeah, just as long as you didn't put that on the chassis ground.
No.
Okay, so that's what he's concerned
Is that what
about.
that's right there? Eh? No, I sent it to these deals here.
Well, no, you're right, but they're sitting
Pull
on
the
wires.
plug out.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
Wait a minute.
Pull the plug on it. Pull the plug on the. Pull the transducer out of the.
So I'm gonna start clicking.
Yeah, it's starting to click.
Oh, now it's moving around. What'd you do?
He unplugged it. Did you plug it back in?
Yeah, one of the solenoids getting hot, man.
He unplugged it, plugged it back in.
Okay, close the CO2. Make sure your CO2 is closed.
So I'm sure one of the solenoids should be getting hot, should it? Or one of them.
All right, he shut it.
Okay, now unplug it.
Because it was getting hot before when I first wired it up.
Is it hot or is it just warm?
It's hot.
He said the solenoid's hot. The solenoid shouldn't be hot, should it?
No.
That's all right.
Huh?
It's just kind of it's a little warm. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. Right now, my most important thing is getting that dome pressure reading right.
Right. No, I see what you're talking about because right now it's still reading 10 psi.
Yeah. Pull it out again.
Pull the wire off again. Off the transducer.
I did.
All right. You just pull off, leave it off for a second.
Is it all the way off now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's all the way off now. What the fuck is that thing doing?
I
it's reading 23 pounds. It's not even hooked up. It's reading 23 pounds. 27 pounds. 28 pounds.
don't know. Something's not got to be wired wrong there.
Let me see if I can see what we got going on.
Solenoid just.
You hook it back up?
I did.
Let me see. What do these wires do? You ran these back into the
Now you said the solenoid's picking up now. So you put it, see? That's what we're trying to figure out.
There's 3 wires. There's only one coming right. Those wires go.
The other two go to. Here.
What is it?
This is the harness. That's the harness.
What is splicing? What does it go back into the box?
Yeah. That's what I put in.
All right. Well, what is this one?
I think that's hot oil. That one goes to these inputs right here.
Are you wiring inputs together or what? It goes into that plug?
Yeah, see how this one goes here? That goes there and actually will.
Oh yeah, I understand that. These are the plugs that hook onto the solenoids and the other one onto the transducer. Where do the other wires go?
I guess they go into the box.
All right, so you didn't hook nothing up to the battery or to ground or nothing like that.
I don't remember I did. I don't think so. But obviously something's got to be wrong. Tell them the solenoid just over clicking by itself.
Yeah, the solenoid's clicking by itself. Which one?
The one that gets hot.
Right now, it's clicking.
Yeah, one of them is. Is it the vent or is it the which one is it? Yeah, I said the boost vent is clicking.
Yeah, it's clicking. The vent's gonna click because it's reading 40 psi
Right.
on the dome.
Okay, I got you.
So it's trying to alleviate that pressure. Here, we can make that stop. Actually, is the throttle still forward?
No.
Oh, I didn't know it was supposed to do that when it's.
There goes the other two are going to the harness. So that's why I wired it up.
And they go into the box?
Yeah.
As long as they're not going to chassis or
No.
12 volt or anything like that.
Because it was, it'd be outside that deal there. The blue wire goes to one harness, the other two go inside the box.
Yeah, he's got them wired into the box. They're not wired to the chassis ground or nothing like that.
Because they actually go into those, whatever, the inputs. I freaking wrote that thing like 3 times, you know.
Just key it off.
You know. It's off.
Okay. Yeah. There's a few things that could be wrong. Actually, that decreased solenoid clicking tells me that the solenoids are probably wired right, which is a good thing. But the dome pressure we got to figure out. I can tell you what pin it should be going into. The signal wire should be going into pin 812 on the P1A connector, which is the one all the way closest.
Yeah, that's.
The USB.
Yeah, we need to check it. We don't need to look at the manual. He's showing it right there.
Well, there's a manual that shows all the connectors in there, and that's where I put it. Let me go grab this.
Yeah, we need to double check it because something ain't right.
Well, it's going to be hard to pull those wires out.
Can you get right to it?
No, probably not. Where's it at? Under the dash or what?
Which one's with those wires?
The wire harness and be able to get to the ECM?
It's really right there. I mean, everything's right here. Yeah, I mean, everything's right here. This goes
But
to.
we need to check and see what pin is going into it.
Look, sure, I'll pin it to the 28, which is the blue and white. Let me go grab that deal real quick. Because it has a picture of like the pin numbers on there, you know?
If you can get to where you can see the back of the connector, I can walk you through what you gotta find.
Yeah, I don't even know where he's got the connector. He's going to get a manual or something. I don't know what he's doing.
Okay. You don't need a manual.
That's what I told him, but he wants to go get it anyway. So. We need to see the back. We need to look at the back of that connector.
Okay.
Can you get the connector out, or is it behind the dash?
The connector?
Yeah, for the ECM.
It's not behind the dash. I mean,
Where's the ECM at?
right here on the floor. It's right there.
Okay, which harnesses do you want me to look at? What am I looking for? I tell him I can see the harness and I can see the plugs. Yo, Josh?
Yep.
He can't hear me. What do you want me to look for? What do you want me to look for? Yeah.
Okay. All right. There's the first
April.
connector closest to where the USB cable goes into it.
Yes, sir.
That's the main P1A connector.
Okay.
Now, on some of these, there's a separate I/O connector that's it's kind of like it's wired to that connector, but it's kind of dangling and separate with 4 ends and 4 it's 2 rows of 4, so there's 8 pins in the connector. I don't know if that's the connector that he's wired to, or if he's wired to straight to the P1A connector. Either one, so you just gotta tell me which one, and then I can help you.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. Okay, that separate harness. Hey, Josh.
Yep.
Are you wired? When you wired that in, did you wire into this plug here or into these here?
Whichever one told me, I don't remember exactly which one it was, but whichever one told me wire into it, I did. There's a harness that actually comes off of the box itself, which is I think it's probably the first one, man. I'm trying to pull it up right now.
It's a separate input output, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and there's 2 rows of 4, right?
Yep.
Alright, so where's that connector at?
It's under the hood up here.
It's under the hood.
Okay, show them where that connector is. Because that dual pressure wire, that's the signal wire, which is it's the one that looks like there's 2 next to each other, and then one below it. On the connector itself, on the connector that goes into the transducer. That bottom one is the signal. And it's usually pink or yellow sometimes.
Yep.
Which one you got? You got yellow?
And it should be wired to equal number 1.
Yep, the orange one's going to the yellow.
Where's the connector at?
That's right here.
Alright, so you got. Hold on a second. We got a pink, orange, and black on the connector, and what's going where?
I've got the orange to the pink.
Orange to the pink.
Well, this is one. This is
Can you got me input lines? Input output lines?
yeah, it's right
That,
here.
yeah, we need to know which one it's going into.
The blue one's actually
That's the
going.
one.
Okay.
That's the one with 8, right?
Yeah, it's got 8 wires to it. We're trying to verify where that signal wire is actually going into.
Okay, it should be going into the first position.
That one's going.
Okay. So the pink wire should be going into.
The blue one is actually going
Number
to
1 on that connector.
So we need the pink one is what we're looking for. See the pink one?
right.
That's the signal wire. Where does it go? It should go into that connector, right?
It doesn't go into that connector.
Where do you got to wire to?
It's wired into this other harness that's back here. which this goes into. I guess the power. But this is, I guess, going to the power right here. The pink wire is. The orange wire is going to the harness over there. So in other words, those wires need to be swapped around. Because I just wired up the.
This wire is supposed to go into here.
You what?
The pink wire is supposed to go into
Yeah,
this.
that one doesn't go into there.
Well, that's wrong. That's what we're trying to figure out.
I've got that going to the output.
So you got this backwards. Yeah, because the pink one is running back in. Hey, Josh, does this pink one, does this harness here go back into the ECM?
Yes.
All right, so that goes into the main harness?
Yes.
All right, so yeah, you get the pink and the orange backwards. This pink one's supposed to be hooked up and going to this Ford, this 8 plug. Let's see which one it is.
The one that goes into the main harness, though, that's a shared 5 volts. So there's other stuff that's placed into that as well.
Right.
So just be careful when you cut it in. Because that's all the 5 volts all it is, pretty much.
Right, that's what.
Right on the plug with the 8 wires, the input output. Okay, as I'm holding it, it's a blue and white wire. Is that the one I want? Pin A.
I'm pulling this up right now, man.
Well, if you know the pin, I can read the pin the pin number too. It's pin
This
A.
right here.
It should be on.
Alright, A, B, C, D.
I got the LS. I guess I got the LS too. See, here's where which one was he talking about?
I can look at it. I can go inside and look at it.
Yeah, I actually have it right here in front of me. This one we're looking at.
There's some of that.
Right. But it's the same. Yeah.
Tell me the laptop or the ECM?
The laptop.
Oh yeah, I got some. The wiring harness.
Yeah, I got the cursor over the input
Right.
output connector you're looking at right now.
Right here. A12.
A1250A, right?
Yep.
Yeah, when that hooks to the pink wire.
That hooks to the pink wire going to the
Yeah, you got
going to the transducer.
Yeah, he's got it wrong. He's got the orange wire going to that one.
Okay. Yeah, just switch those around.
All the power's off in the car, right?
Leave now. Can you get a solder iron out here and solder it up real quick?
Yeah, either way, it doesn't matter to me.
Happens all the time.
No, that's fine. No, I didn't wire up the car. He already had all this done when I started coming over here. This is why I'm here, so I can help figure this out.
That's good. Takes a village. Yeah, 26 then we go fast. Makes it a lot easier.
It's a little more fun, too.
Yeah. Where you guys are in Louisiana?
No, we're in St. Louis. About 15 minutes outside of St. Louis.
Okay, cool. How's the weather up there today?
Right now it's almost 70 degrees.
We gotta go.
tomorrow is supposed to be close to 78.
Yeah. And then it's gonna go back down.
Last year it's like 90 degrees outside right now. Winter time's the time of the year that we look forward to for racing. During the summer we park our shit.
Yeah, not around here, man. We're always fucking busy though. We're building shit in the summertime, the wintertime. I'll tell you what, after learning about this Holley EFI, I don't want to get one now.
Yeah. It's a sweet setup.
Yeah, right now I'm planning on doing all mine with a stock ECM. Whenever you're ready, man. You want a shrink tube?
I do have some shrink too. I was just trying to wait for this back to warm up. Okay.
Well, we got time now. Need to get a good soldering iron and throw this piece of crap one away.
I bought it from Harbor Freight.
I know, it's a piece of crap.
That's all right.
I spent $100 on mine.
I see that, man. I should have spent the money right the first time.
I will have these soldered back up here in a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Where are you at?
I'm in South Florida. I'm out here in West Palm Beach.
Okay, yeah, I listen to a radio show out of South Florida every day.
Oh, really? Which one?
Bubba the Low Sponge.
Oh, yeah. He's a little further south. I think he's out of Miami area.
No, he's out of Tampa. But he's syndicated all over the place. But the shrink tube?
He must be somebody else. Yeah, that's right, because they also have the Tampa has the, what's that other show, The Monsters or something?
Yeah, they're going against them.
Oh, okay.
You get in there?
Well, I think this soldering iron ain't working very well.
You got some crimps? Want to crimp it right now?
I got some crimps, man.
Actually, you know what? We could just. I don't want to twist it, but fuck, we ain't got.
I got some of these little deals here.
You know, before we connect these, we can always check that and make sure it's working right too. Hold on a minute before we connect them, have to cut them again.
Yeah.
Make sure this is working. There's that.
What do you think, measure one's cut twice or something?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. It's like, well, hell, if we cut this thing and then splice it and then fucking then it's wrong, we gotta do it again.
Yeah, let me check it real quick.
Let me get it hooked up. You want me to go ahead and hook up this the pressure, the transducer?
Turn some power on.
Yeah, plug it into the sensor kit.
Yeah. All right, start this bad boy, or turn the power on so we see what this thing is reading.
It's on.
We gotta turn the power on.
There you go.
All right, power's on. You want to connect?
Okay. Good.
Still reading 13 pounds. Of course, you got a red light though too, don't we?
That's just, it's the warning. Let me see here, we'll just make sure. Should be right. It's plugged in right now?
Yeah. I got the transducer plugged back in. Some wires are connected. I'm gonna cut some wires. Let's put them back on.
Yeah, it should be reading right. It's not.
Could a transducer be bad?
It's possible. Unplug it and replug it in again. Just want to see if it does anything.
It was reading the first time, not even reading at all.
And now it's reading negatives. You got it off?
Yeah.
Now it's all over the place.
It's still off?
It's on now.
No, take it off. It's off now. There's still gotta be something wrong with the wiring.
Yeah. Let's check the ground.
Which ground? The main ground or
The
what?
ground? The
So-
ground should be going to...
The harness.
Wait a second. You go ahead and key it off now.
From the ground going to the harness.
Yeah, he's going back into the main harness with the sensor ground.
Yeah. It's either 14, 18, or...
Which connector is it ground to? Okay, wait, I'm not following.
Okay, there's two connectors going into the ECU.
Yep.
Closest to the USB connectors.
Right.
The one all the way to the left is P1A.
Are you in P1A? Is that the one that
I know what
just
you're talking about, but the harnesses are wired together. So I have to pull the whole harness apart to find out. You know what I mean?
You don't know which one you hooked this wire into?
I don't
Ground?
You gotta follow the wire back.
Yeah, it's all inside of a harness.
The same harness. I never, you know what I mean? Because the harness are together, and at the end they split apart. So it took a.
That's a separate. You have to add that. But
Did you hear him?
the main harness, that's part of the main harness, the bonus all those wires that hook up sensors, you have to bring all the way into the plant.
I didn't do that. Because I guess from what I read in there, you can take those same sensors and wire them to all the map, and actually they're wired to the map, the cooling air temperature, the positive and the negatives, I guess, are right with those there. Is the way I wired it, but I don't remember which one it was on there. Yeah.
Yeah, you should be reading fucking nothing right now.
Yeah, it should read 0.
Trying to think, man.
You know the color the wire's supposed to be?
See, that's why I went off the wires too, because there was a blue and white wire is what it's on, right?
Yeah, black and gray.
Well, I mean, I wired them to there.
Every time like a wire inside.
And see, the color chart is kind of rough. Yeah, and that's why I went off. That's what color is that? Black and gray? Or black and white? Which one are you looking for? Is that the one you're looking for? It's wired to the rest of the other sensors too.
No, but what's behind the tape? I hate to
I
say
soldered it, man.
Alright. You shrink too much, man.
Yeah. Now, what color is that? Because I actually went off the
black
color.
and white.
Right, and what I did was I went off
what
the
pin is that?
black and white one is the ground sensor 22. It's on the first one, which is the heck's that on? Oh, I'm on the wrong. This on the wrong one right there. I'm sorry. So just give me 2 seconds. Let me get to the Holly here, or LS2. The black and white one is this. The sensor ground is A18.
He's on A18.
I am on there because I went with the colors that were on there.
And then he said that's how he's got wired up because all the other sensors are wired at the same
Yeah, because they all got same, different colors. So that's how I went off the colors. That's how I knew what was in here.
Okay. And then the positive wire, you got, which is the orange.
Yeah.
What's on the, what is this for doing? There's gray and red. And it goes into
Gray and red.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it looks like gray and red. What pin is that?
Gray and red is PMW -2, which is B11.
B11.
Is gray red, PB1.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
B11. B as in boy.
It's the PMW #2 output.
BMW number 2 output.
Yeah. It's red and gray.
It shouldn't be pulse width. Well, it should.
Well, that's what it's on. That's red and gray and red. And the PB1.
Where should they go? The power lead.
Because that's how I was able to configure it into the system.
Right. That's the sensor output.
That's why my transition might be messed up. A26 is a white wire. No, the A26 is a white wire injector harness. Then there's a white PB1W.
We don't want a PD.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just telling you what it is here. The white wire here is 833 and here is B26, which is the injector B.
Okay, you talking about the P? Which plug you want us to hook it to? P1A or P1B? P1A. So it's that one. So we need 8. What do you say?
It's 833.
You said 833. It's orange. Sensor 5-volt reference out. Orange. That's the one we need. Is that that one?
Yeah.
That's where it should be connected. Yeah, we're looking at the wiring harness on the PDF right now. So you got. He's looking at it now.
No, it's actually on Holly TBI right now.
He says on Holly TBI right now.
And it's not, yeah, he's on the wrong one. Because I was on the wrong one at first too. Yeah, but that's the Holly TBI EFI 4-barrel harness, not the LS2 harness. See, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, it's still in the same one.
And that's orange right there. It's the same one we're looking at.
This orange one right here?
Yep.
What the hell you got up to? What's it? What's the yellow there?
That's actually probably going over there. Somebody else can tell.
That's another sensor.
It's going to another
goes
sensor.
here.
It's going to the map sensor.
Alright, so that's probably a 5-volt reference to the map sensor. Right?
Right, so I teed them off there is what I did.
Well, that's fine. But the problem is you got this other one hooked to this red. You keep changing colors, which is causing the issue.
So I try to keep it the same.
You see red and gray. This is red and gray. Yeah, this red and gray one. You can look at the orange one.
Well, the soldering iron's good and hot though, I can tell you that.
Well, right now, until we figure this out, we ain't solder nothing.
I know.
We need to make sure it works. We solder and get it all tidied up once we figure it out.
And I'm wondering if that's the reason why the transducer that might be jacked up.
Maybe.
Because I ran all that shit together. Well, I actually ran that one off of the one that was up here. Just got the wire shit was straight. I just cut the last one here.
You have power.
Nope. Well, the good thing you found a bunch of wiring issues. Wasn't really planning on that.
Yeah, usually the sensors hardly ever get hooked to pulse width wires.
Those wires so freaking thin.
Yeah, wire strippers.
I do have wire strippers. They're right there.
Yeah, I don't think they'll go that small.
So you're taking oratory to oratory, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I'm doing right now.
And did you figure out where the ground's going?
It looks like it's going in the right place.
Okay.
All right, let's see if it reads right now. Power on, key on.
Key.
Not yet. We're getting ready to turn the key on now. All right, key's on. -2.
Better. -2 is better than
10 psi, yeah.
So it's wired right now.
Yeah, you just gotta go back and resolder the connections and then the shrink tube them. Yeah, you want us to pull that, real quick, pull the plug off the transducer easily because they're just twisted. Pull it off and see what.
Pull it off.
Now, should it be reading all over the place when you disconnect that?
Yeah, they do kind of crazy things.
All right, go ahead and plug it back in. You having a problem?
Yeah, I am. I think fucking got me fucked up. Man. I'm good,
There
man.
we go.
There we go. Yeah, went right back to -2, so that's cool.
Okay. Now you want to test the system now, or you want to solder it up?
You want to solder it up?
It doesn't matter. Whatever's easier.
As long as the thing's still plugged in. I'd rather solder it up before we try to fire it up.
It's ready to solder, my man.
I didn't know if you wanted to go back through the testing to make sure all the stuff's reading right before we did anything.
Well, I want to, because I'm not 100% sure that the solenoid's wired right yet. So I wanted to make sure that that's all wired right too.
Okay. Well, do you want to solder that up then?
Start the car.
I'm sorry?
You don't have to actually start the car before we're doing it.
Okay, well, I'm just right now. We just got the wires are just twisted together, so that's why I didn't know if we're gonna have issues with that, or if you want to solder these up and then fuck with everything else, or what.
Yeah. You just gotta solder them up. Like I said, it's probably,
Take it 270.
you know those are wired right anyway, so.
That's not this good. I like it, man.
That should be good. Because if you go back and put heat shrink on them, you have to pull them off anyway. Just solder them so they got a good connection. Start calling you Shaky Jake, man. What the hell?
I'm trying to get this bad boy done, man.
I understand that, but sometimes you gotta take your time, boss.
We're on the schedule.
What's that?
This schedule. Shoot, we think about an hour. I think we should be all right there. And that's it, right?
Yeah, if those, just stick something on them so they don't drown out or nothing. Where's the tape at?
Right there in front of you, sir.
We will go back and fix this.
Absolutely.
How many times have I done wiring on this car?
Fuck, you helped me wire that trans brake because I had that thing all jacked up.
I've done wiring on this. This is about my third time doing wiring on this car.
Well, I'm glad you came by. Otherwise, I'd have been kind of lost by myself a little bit.
The problem is always different shit. Next thing you know, there's more than having to put a stereo on this thing. Alright, we got these soldered up and covered so they're not going to ground or nothing.
Alright, cool.
Alright, so what do you want me to do now?
Alright, now, back to the beginning. Alright, let's go ahead and is the CO2 still showing pressure in the line or no?
Is there still pressure in the line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still shows 150 PSI or whatever?
Still showing 150 PSI?
Yeah, 150. A little bit under 150.
A little bit under 150.
The other one doesn't show anything.
The other one's not showing nothing.
Okay. We gotta regulate that down to like 80.
You gotta adjust that regulator down to 80 pounds.
How do you do that?
So, how do you adjust this thing?
I don't know, man. I don't know if that thing twists or not.
Is there a screw in there? I can't see in there. It looks like there might be a screw inside of it.
It actually might be an Allen wrench to probably take that thing open, to open it up.
Either that or adjust it.
Right. Well,
Can you see any?
it's like a spring.
You know what though? This
like a spring,
on the
man.
top of this regulator, it says 125 psi. So I think it's a non-adjustable.
Yeah, because it's
Oh, okay.
Because we're trying to figure out how to adjust it, and there's nothing to adjust.
right.
And you got 0 on that side. That's the side. Is that the tank? Yeah, that's the tank side. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're sitting at just about 140.
Alright. But you're saying it's regulated at 125? It's supposed to be?
That's what the top of the regulator says.
Okay. Let's see if that works. Usually those things run around between 60 and 100 PSI.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Do you still need to go back in and set up the dome on a dome control setup, that one PID?
Yes. But that's what we're preparing to do now.
I got you. I know that's where we got sidetracked before. I didn't know what we're doing. So.
Yeah, because we need the dome pressure to work first.
Right. Okay.
All right, let's Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm setting up the strip chart. The strip chart is basically a live logger. It allows us to see in real time what's going on.
Right.
Okay. One of the things that I'm doing right now, you guys, well, you can see the computer?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm setting up the strip chart right now, and I'm trying to set it up to where I can see just the values that I'm concerned about. But right now are the dome pressure transducer, which is the boost transducer, and my target boost, which is not that's the target
On the gate.
controller on the dome. Okay, so everything we're looking at is dome. Now, what I'm trying to do now is I need to line these up so that the one line rides the target, so that the actual line rides the target line, so you can see a visual representation of how it's working, how much it's fluctuating, how much it's jumping up and down, etc.
Right.
All right. So I know that the range. Here, let me take a step back. So basically, if you notice that there's these check marks on the right of each one of these,
Right.
and those bring up the scale. Okay. So I'm going to bring up the target boost scale, and I'm going to bring up the dome pressure scale, because I need these two to be the same. Now you can see that they're not. Okay. Now I know that what I'm going to do is I'm going to be oscillating between like 10 and 20 psi to make sure that the controller is working right. So I want to get some resolution on this. So all you got to do to rescale these is you left click on top of the scale itself, and it brings up this window. Usually they're set by default to auto scale, but in this case you don't want to set to auto scale because you want the resolution where you want it. So I'm going to set my minimum at 5 psi, and and then you do it again, and you set your maximum, and I'm going to set my maximum at 30 psi, and I'm going to do the same for dome pressure, so that we're working on the same scale on both, so the lines correspond to each other. Okay. Now I'm going to split screen this so that I can see my actual PID stuff, because this is all live. So as I'm watching the line, I can make changes to this and see how it affects the control. And you'll see it in just a second. Okay, what we need you to do is you still have 100 some PSI in the line?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a little over 100.
Okay, all right, great. So we should be able to see what that does once this controller goes active. What I need you to do now is the key's on the car, right?
Yep.
Okay. I need you to go wide open throttle on the gas pedal.
All right, hold on now. All right, wide open.
I gotta bring up one more value here. I need to see just to make sure. You all the way on the gas?
Yes.
That's okay. All right. Okay, now what you're going to see here, as soon as I take this, I start adding some values here. You're going to see the controller come alive here in a second. It's a 10.
Yep, start clicking. Yeah, you can see it right there. No, hold. You got it wide open? Okay.
Did all the CO2 pressure just blast out of it?
Yes.
Okay. Turn the CO2 on.
Turn CO2 on. Okay. CO2's on. I'm sorry?
And you see how it's pretty much drawing the line there?
Right.
Okay, now what I want you to do is push and hold the train brake button.
Push and hold the trans brake button.
Right now?
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, you see how it moved?
Yeah.
Okay, let go.
Let go. Went back up.
Push again.
Push it again.
Again.
He's still on it.
Yeah, release it. Just
Let go.
we're just toggling back and forth.
Okay.
Do it again.
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 Let up.
Again. Let go.
So I guess the solenoids are wired correctly?
So we're taking the solenoids are wired right.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's working good now.
My solenoid ain't getting hot either. Sweet. I'm making a lot of noise.
His car running, you ain't gonna hear him anyway.
I know.
All right. Boost control's all set up. So now, one of the other things here. Let's talk about this boost control here. Scale on the bottom of the screen right now.
Yep.
Obviously, 15 second scale is not what you want to use. Because that'd be the slowest method on the planet. So you probably want to use like an 8 or 9 second scale.
Yep.
Just
Perfect.
to have some room there. Keep in mind that now when you did you shut your CO2 off?
Yes.
Yeah, make sure you shut that because it'll leak out. Okay, so going back to the boost control here, the boost setup under the trans brake launch input. Okay, the trans brake launch input does two things. It puts you on the trans brake stage, which is whatever you're commanding here for your launch target for your boost, and it also resets the ramp. So as soon as you let go of that button, that's when the ramp starts. Okay.
Okay.
So this ramp doesn't take effect until you're actually going down the track.
Okay.
Typically speaking, I would have one of the tricks that I use in tuning, especially for the fast cars when we're really trying to push them real hard, is I pull boost out on the long end. I actually take boost out, towards the end of the pass. And if you have any experience in drag racing, you know that almost anything you do after 1,000 foot does not affect the EG.
Yep.
You can pretty
Well,
much
unless you
play-
lift and hit the brakes, you know.
Right. I mean, you really, even when you lift and hit the brakes, it barely affects the EG. I mean, it's pretty impressive how little that last 300 feet affects the EG if it was a pass.
Right.
So that's why I have that much. That's why I even put it out that far, because typically speaking, if your boost isn't all in within 3 seconds, you're doing something wrong. So what I typically do is I rescale this to say this will be my 3-second mark, and then after that, you see how it jumps from 3 seconds to 7 seconds
Yeah.
right here. So this is my first 3 seconds of the pull, and I don't need it to do anything until the back half of the track again anyway. So that's why I scale it like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because between 3 and 7, it's not going to do anything, until at 7 seconds you can pull the boost out or whatever you're going to do.
Exactly. So, and again, I mean, that's just arbitrary. You can do it however you want, and you can set that up however you want. But that's just my advice. There's this function called Boost Builder. Okay, and this allows you to run a fixed amount of timing, fixed amount of fuel. It'll let you run a fixed amount of fuel, fixed amount of timing, and then it'll let you set up conditions for when you do that. For instance, I don't really like the fixed fuel. I don't like the fixed fuel because typically when you're on the trans brake or you're doing something, you're going through a span of several hundred RPMs.
Right.
And having fixed fuel is not something that makes me feel good. But fixed timing does work because you can have it to where, let's say that, like my converter's real tight down low. So to get it up to the two-step, I put a bunch of timing in it. But rather than going to my timing table and fuck it up with what I'm doing on the trans brake, I just sit in here, I just put in here, I put 38 degrees of timing, and whenever I push that trans brake button, I get 38 degrees of timing.
Okay.
Until, and I have it set up to where, with the parameters up here, I have it set up to as soon as I hit 2 pounds of boost, it goes back to the regular table.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is a lot lower. But it gives you the option to do a lot of different things here. It's up to you and your creativity and based on our needs and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
That's about it. You want to play with the idol?
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
You ain't gonna be able to hear him. You might as well take the phone with you because we can't hear nothing.
Right.
And they should start up. Why not?
You should. Tell him to lean that idle out a little bit too if he's in there.
It's Nick Williams, I believe. Just the 92 millimeter. I want to say yes. Let me. Oh look, man! I'll take pictures of freaking everything, man. Bear with me a second, dude. No. Yeah, it does. It has a small hole in it, sorry. I don't know.
No, it's pretty short.
It's completely shut.
Look at the set screw on the armature there.
Yeah.
Is it bottomed out? Is it?
It's not bottomed out.
I mean, is it all completely backed out, or is it?
It's out a little bit.
Is it resting up against the stop, or is it?
Oh, the set screw. No, it's backed out a little bit.
It's backed out all the way, like Earth is touching. Is it?
Hey, Mike. Watch yourself down there. Be careful, burn your head. I just put my hair on this exhaust and burnt my hair.
No, it's on the stop. It's on the stop.
It's on the start. Yeah, I smell some burning.
It's on the stop.
Yeah, it's on the stop.
So it's cracked a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, you have two options here. I prefer to open up the hole, me personally.
Okay.
But you don't have to, if you have some adjustment left on the throttle blade, then you can crack it over a little bit more. But regardless, if it needs more air.
Okay.
So it's up to you which way you want to do it.
Okay.
So you want to just crank up the screw for us now?
Yeah. How big of a hole do I need? Or you just need more air? I'm gonna do the set screw right now. That's probably the easiest, you know?
Every time we touch a set screw, we have to do a TPS auto.
Yeah.
That's torques, man.
What does it need?
I don't know.
You know, it's like you gotta make a decision now.
Okay.
How far else should we turn? Oh, yeah.
There's a ton of adjustments in there. What size is that?
536. Hey, let's try that. I got about a turn and a half, turn and 3/4 where I'm at now.
He's got to turn 3/4 going on right now, guys. So we fire that back up? Yep. Yes, sir.
Actually, in the driver's seat is best.
I'll be in the driver's seat.
No, it went to 100. You didn't have your foot all the way down, dude. Do it again. 'Cause it went to 100 right before you let up.
is, and then I'll continue to see what this water tank can do.
Yeah, engine's off. Yeah, we recorded everything you've done too. So I mean, if we have to, we can go back and review the video.
And that's wrong with it. My whole key, I guess, is how to log it, I should say. I guess you have to go in and hit. Right, we should do that just to try and see what. Yes, but it's not on.
The car's not on. On? Yeah, hold on. He's walking back around. Alright, wind up the throttle. Off.
So I guess the course that you're right now and the boost controller, everything's set to make it like 15 pounds, I guess. You made about 12 on the gate. Yeah, I done it a while back. I guess maybe running around 8 cylinders or 7 or 5 cylinders or 6 cylinders, whatever the case may be.
it'll make 12 on the gate. And then all the cylinders, it'll probably make more. So I would creep up on it. I put, yeah, I'm going to put more than 10 on the gate and see what that, how it affects it.
Okay.
Also, you're going to find out that
Yeah,
it's
right
no
under the
city. So the more boost you want, the more
What's up?
more CO2 it needs.
Yes.
So for instance, 10 PSI on the gate might give you 20 pounds of boost,
Yeah, we're about done here.
but it might take another 10 PSI to get another 5 pounds of boost.
Done.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
It's all
I
going to
broke
depend
two of them this
on
morning.
wastegate placement and
Right, right.
all that. You got real slow spring in there right now, or
It was whatever was in the. When I bought it from the factory, so
okay.
whatever. That's a Turbo Smart 45 gauge on there. Hyper gauge.
Yeah. You got a couple of those?
I just got two of them, but I mean,
Man, it's taking a long time.
yeah, I see that,
Is it
man.
done on here?
No?
There's so many in here. I think it's why it takes so long.
Oh, yeah. There was when you take that target to race rate PSI and bring that down maybe 10, 5 or something, so it was, and start adding.
Yeah, we can do
See
that.
what-
Once it's finished, we'll go back and get that for it.
And then once I see what it does, and I just start adding a little bit of time, the more boost I want to make, you know, I guess.
Yeah, test passes.
Yep.
Sneak up on it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if I should take it to the dyno or really should just probably just take it to the track, man. Yeah, because we're gonna
I
be
don't
going.
like Dyno.
We're gonna be going to the streetcar union here next couple of weeks. I'm gonna take the car and get it recertified this weekend, and the following week we're gonna go down there. But I got to make sure my brakes right and everything's right here. Still try to make a couple of hits, man.
Nice.
See what happens.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a lot of information I got today, man. I need to keep going over and going over and going over and going over, man, till I freaking get it. Because I've got most of it. And the good thing about my guy Mike here is he can actually continue just pound it in there so way I can get it. Because I don't get all of it right now, and it just might take a minute. But,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Jeez, why is this taking so long?
yes.
Is
But
it long even for...
we're gonna try to. Well, I can say try to delete again. I'll try to delete
Yeah, I
one.
hate doing that because it seems like... seems like every time I always want to give up on it right before I give up. It's like, oh, there it is. It's finished.
Well,
That's pretty... What is it in here? The keys in the off position in the car, right?
they are. Yep.
Okay.
I'll try to delete one by one.
Nice.
Yes, sir. I saw it the first time.
Your key off and key back on?
Yep.
Is it done?
Yep. Yes.
Oh, that might was going, buddy. I feel for you in 100-degree heat with that motherfucker in the car with you.
I mean, same thing, man.
Just a couple seconds, man. All right.
Okay. I'm gonna get offline. Open data log.
That's what I was doing. I didn't go offline to do that. I tried to take the data off so I wouldn't pull up.
I download. Let's just take a look at that. Oh, one other thing I want to show you that's really cool. I don't know if you get it.
Hey, just to remind you, did you write that this tune into the ECM?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Every time, I don't know if you noticed, but every time after I made a change, I've done the same too.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you said you had to do it after it deleted, and I didn't know if you did it or not.
Yeah, 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 good. Okay, so
Yep.
when you push this button, it starts to lock.
Alright.
So this is what you're right now. Okay, so right now it's on, even though it's recording, you see how it's highlighted?
Yep.
Right.
Alright, so I click again, and it finishes, and then it asks me to be.
Gotcha.
Because then it'll be only, but you can change it to whatever you want. Okay? Sure. Okay. So that's the other form of logging. And then the last line, that's the unit terminal log. So we're gonna go ahead and open a data log. And there's a test pass in here, data log, so that's what we're gonna look at. Because, now I'm gonna scroll over to dry erasing. Because, you'll need average, timing, and blood pressure. And this is first time. Is this your first time on Star? It's gonna be fast, or have you had an hour scrubbing one since?
I had it on this car before, but it wasn't fast. It was a full bump, so it was all slow stuff. Had a little bit of nitrous on it. They went like 10 points.
Okay. Well, one thing you're gonna notice is when you go like this, is it the dry zone sound or wet zone?
What's that?
First thing you might do when you make a low list pass, first thought I want you to do, you want to make sure you pull that log and look at your own way. Because the notorious are stuck in the vehicle. Okay. So this will tell me if you start seeing your fuel pressure fluctuating over the line.
Well, bro.
Or you see that as soon as you let go of the train press button and that, you know, that inertia hits and the chronos, you think on board. A lot of times they'll oil gets back up in and it'll get up and get away from the pickup.
Okay.
So you'll see your oil pressure drop down to like 30 psi or whatever. I run like almost 2 extra quarts in on just to keep that from happening.
Cool.
So, just something you guys don't run. Look at that.
You probably throw engine in there too.
Oh yeah, that's a good one to have in there.
Yeah, especially on the boost passes.
I do have Yahoo.com. That's it. I have it on my phone as well. I spent so long down there, man, to like email because I usually pick up my phone and I forgot. I think I know it though, man. I think I would have got it on my phone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Churchill 2, and, CHURCHILL, and the number 2, @gmail.com.
You want protein bar, man?
I only eat like once a day.
Oh, is that? You need more than once a day, man. So it's metabolism down.
Not really.
Down
More
bad.
protein, less carbs.
Yeah, but guess what?
You know, it speeds your metabolism up more than that.
More food.
No, actually, if you level off your blood sugar levels, you
Absolutely.
control them.
No doubt.
I burn fat like a mother when it's morning. That's all.
That's all. I'm not saying it's
I
not
lost
possible.
100 pounds last year. In 8 months. I only put 10 back on over the holidays.
That's a good thing there.
So tomorrow I'm going back on it. So I ain't been on it since Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah.
That's you hard to believe. Shit.
Nope, nothing.
When I go over for a contest, man, I start eating those food. My body started getting good for crap. And I started eating more food. Same thing with my girl. She's eating like 1,200 calories. Start eating 1,500 calories. Not even exercise, weight off from that. Because when you don't eat, your body starts going into starvation. You start going into hibernation.
It depends. It depends on blood sugar levels.
Yeah, but you keep yourself stuck. Oh, I don't.
Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
This work minutes independence. And you should get more down into it. Again, first thing I like to do is identify where the actual pass is, which I know from these two giant lines here is two shield points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my cursor out here anywhere where there's no line. And I'm going to hold down the left mouse button. And I'm going to try to get across. What I'm doing is I'm zooming in the middle of that area. Okay? And that's the pass. So you can see how you can go. And that's where you make the pass. Right here, you're on train, right? 2-7.
Like when you let off the trans brake or, you know, when you get in the two step or something. Well, I've got a fast, I've got an easy EFI on my red car, so I've dealt with that, and I've also got an easy EFI Wideband O2.
Okay. Correct. I'm not sure about that, but I know fast works the same way. So basically, if you work out, you know, the two and a half minutes on the train, what that does is you can open the wall,
Right?
and you'll know anywhere this locker here.
Hey, go back to the data log. What if this is activate overlay? What was that? Go back up to data. Yeah, see activate overlay? What is it? Okay, I see. That's
Okay. Now, here's the really cool part of this. Watch this.
I'll delete it out.
Zoomed in.
Yeah, delete all the garbage. Yeah, all the garbage is gone.
Yeah, and so basically wherever you're zoomed in, that's where like the train's at. Yeah, you see it, okay. Okay, but yeah, normally on the before, maybe hooked up to that, maybe there's an
Is the
association.
key still on? Yeah. You know the key is still on the ECM.
That's why. There we go.
Shall I turn it on?
We just logged out. Yeah, you turn it off.
Yeah, that was the problem, I think. Let's zoom out here and see. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, move that. Yeah, that's it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So it's moving.
That's not why my button was moving. See?
Okay, and it's the same, no matter what tape we have, anywhere line tape, allow you to do that. Okay, most of them.
It gives us enough to play with. That's the main thing.
Yeah, and if you look for questions or references, I mean, that's, basically what I'll do, you know, to, there's a lot to take in one shot, it's good stuff to work, and also that you can put up a reason.
appreciate it, man. Got a lot of information. That's what it was worth it, man. So, if I have any questions like that, if I need you, I'll definitely text you up or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and drop these down along here. Yeah.
Keon?
Yeah, key back on, please. So just so I can dump it in there and get some kind of starting point.
Yep.
Alright, you can dump it.
Alright, brother, again, I appreciate your time and your help, man. If you got any more questions, we'll hit you up and we'll pay you what you need, so.
Okay, appreciate it. And if you hear anybody needs help, let them know.
Hey, I already do.
We will.
Hey, I got another guy already, man, that he's down in Memphis right now that I was telling him about, yeah, and he's got a Holly system, and once his car get run, I'm telling you, man, we'll see you some business, man. Yep, I appreciate it, my man. I'll eat your calls. Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
See you. Wow, man, that was 3 hours and 19 minutes worth of. The thing is, you got a lot of that shit, man. I was getting it was kind of.